Pranks of the Boy, Skanda 10, Chapter 8. With growing childhood, Krishna became very naughty. Once the Gopa women made the following complaints: Krishna would untie their calves before the milking time. He would steal their milk and curds and divide the remnants after eating among the monkeys. If they did not eat, he would break the pot. If he did not get the things he wanted, he would curse the inmates and other boys. If the pots were out of reach, he would raise himself on seats or husking tools and bear those hanging pots away to get at their contents. He would illumine the dark room by the glitter of his own body and that of his jewels. To serve his purpose, he would talk insolently and spoil the ground. The Gopa women exclaimed, "But now how innocent he looks before you." Krishna betrayed fear in his eyes. Yashoda would not beat him, so she only smiled. One day, Rama and other boys complained to Yashoda that Krishna had eaten earth. The mother remonstrated. "They have lied," exclaimed Krishna. "Or if they have spoken the truth, then examine my mouth. Open it," said Yashoda. But what did she find within that mouth? The seven dvipas, the planets, the stars, the three gunas, and all their transformations, even Vrindavana and herself. Is this dream or delusion, or is this all the power of my own son? If thou art then the unknowable, my salutations to thee. I take the shelter of him, by whose Maya I seem to be Yashoda, this Nanda my husband, this boy my son, the goats, cows, gopas, and gopis to be mine. She had the true knowledge, but it was soon eclipsed by the Maya of Vishnu, and Yashoda again knew Krishna to be her own son. Raja Parikshit asked, "What did Nanda do that Krishna would be his foster son? And what did Yashoda do that Krishna should suck her breast?" Even his own parents did not witness the deeds of the child of which poets have sung so much. Shuka replied, "Drona, the chief of the Vasus, with his wife Dhara, shewed great obedience to Brahma. When born on earth, may we have the highest devotion for him." Such was their prayer to Brahma, and it was granted. Drona was born as Nanda and Dhara as Yashoda. The tying. Skanda 10, Chapter 9. One day Yashoda was churning curdled milk and singing the deeds of her son. Krishna came up and, desirous of sucking milk, held the churning rod. Yashoda placed him on her lap and gave him milk to suck. But the milk that was boiling on the oven overflowed the pot, and she hurriedly left her son. In anger, Krishna bit his lips, broke the milk pot with a stone, took the fresh butter to a retired corner, and there partook of it. Yashoda came back after a while and found the pot broken. Her son had left the place, and she could easily see that it was all his doing. She found Krishna seated on the husk sand, freely dividing the contents of the hanging pots among the monkeys, and she quietly approached him with a stick. Krishna hurriedly got down and ran away as if in fear. Yashoda ran after him and caught him at last. Finding him fear stricken, she threw them down and the stick and tried to fasten him to the husking stand. The rope fell short by the breadth of two fingers. She added another rope. The gap remained the same. She added rope after rope, as many as she had of her own and of her neighbors, but could not bridge over the distance. She stood baffled at last, amazed and ashamed. Finding that his mother was perspiring in the effort and that her hair had become disheveled, Krishna allowed himself to be fastened to the stand. The Arjuna trees, Skanda 10, Chapter 10. The Yaksha king Kuvera had two sons, Nalakuvara and Mangriva. They became maddened with power and intoxicated with drink. Narada passed by them while they were playing with Gandharva girls, stark naked in a river bath, and they heeded him not. Narada thought how best he could reclaim them. Poverty is the only remedy for those that lose their heads in wealth. These sons of Lokapala Kuvera are deep in ignorance, insolence, and intoxication. Let them become trees, but they shall not lose memory by my favor. After 100 Deva years, the touch of Sri Krishna shall save them. These sons of Kuvera, in consequence, became a pair of Arjuna trees in Vrindavana. While Krishna was fastened to the husking stand, the pair of Arjuna trees drew his attention. He was bent on making good the words of Narada. So he approached the trees, drawing the husking stand behind him by force, and placing himself between them, uprooted the trees. They fell down with a crash, and lo, two fiery spirits came out, illumining space by the splendor of their bodies. They prayed to Krishna and then rose upwards. The Gopa women had been engaged all this time in their household duties, and the crash attracted the attention of all the Gopas and Gopis. The boys told what they had seen, but some were loath to believe that all this could be done by the boy Krishna. Vrindavana, Skanda 10, Chapter 11. Seeing that calamities befell Brihatvana so often, the elders put their heads together to devise the best course to adopt. Upananda, one of the oldest and wisest of them, said, "We that wish well for Gokula must hence get away. Evils befall that bode no good for the children." This boy was with difficulty saved from that child killing Rakshasa woman. It is only by the favor of Vishnu that the cart did not fall on him. When he was taken high up by the whirlwind Asura, and when he fell down on the rock, it was the Deva kings that saved him. If this boy and others did not perish when they were between the two trees, it was because Vishnu preserved them. Ere this Vraja is visited by fresh calamity, let us go elsewhere with the boys and all attendants. There is a forest called Vrindavana with fresh verdure for cattle, where Gopas, Gopis, and Gos will all enjoy themselves. The hills, grass, and creepers are all holy there. This very day, let us go to that place. Make ready the carriages. Let the cows precede us, if it pleases you all. With one heart, the Gopas exclaimed, "Well said, well said." They prepared their carriages and placed on them the aged, the young, the females, and all household articles. They drove the cows in advance. They blew their horns and beat their drums. Accompanied by the priests, the Gopas went on their way. The Gopa girls, seated on chariots, sang the deeds of Krishna and Yashoda, and Rohini attentively listened to them. At last they entered Vrindavana, which gives pleasure at all times, with the carriages. They made a semicircular abode for the cattle. Rama and Krishna saw Vrindavana, the hill Govardhana, and the banks of the Yamuna, and then became very much pleased. In time, they became keepers of calves. They tended the calves in the company of Gopa boys on pasture lands near at hand. They played with the other boys as ordinary children. Vatsa or the calf. Skanda 10, Chapter 11. One day, Rama, Krishna, and other boys were looking after their calves when an Asura, with the intention of killing them, assumed the form of a calf and got mixed among the herd. Krishna pointed this out to Balarama and silently moved behind the Asura. He held it aloft by the hind feet and tail and gave it such a whirl that its life became extinct. The boys cried out, well done, and the Devas rained flowers on Krishna. Baka or the crane, Skanda 10, Chapter 11. One day the Gopa boys went over to a tank to quench their thirst. They saw a huge monster in the form of a baka. It rushed forth and swallowed Krishna. Krishna caused a burning in its throat, and the Asura threw him out. It made a second attack, and Krishna held the two beaks and parted them as if they were blades of grass, and the Asura died. Agha or the serpent, Skanda 10, Chapter 12. One day Krishna was playing with the boys in the forest. Agha, the youngest born of Putana and Baka, the Asura, whom even the Devas rendered immortal by Amrita, dreaded, burning with a spirit of revenge at the death of his brother and sister, thought of killing Krishna and all his attendants. He stretched himself forth as a huge serpent, spreading over 1 yojana, the extremities of his open mouth touching the clouds and the earth. The Gopa boys took the Asura to be the goddess of Vrindavana, or if it really be a serpent opening its mouth to kill us, it will instantly be killed like the Asuravaka. So, with their eyes fixed on Krishna, they clapped their hands and with a smile entered the mouth of the serpent, even before Krishna had time to warn them. The Asura still waited with its mouth open for Krishna. Krishna thought how he could kill the serpent and at the same time save his companions. On reflection, He himself entered the mouth of the serpent and stretched himself and his comrades. The Asura lost breath and breathed his last. A shining spirit emerged from the Asura body and entered the body of Krishna. Krishna gave fresh life to his comrades by his Amrita bearing looks. Krishna killed Agha in his fifth year, but the Gopa boys who witnessed the act said when Krishna entered his sixth year that the act was done that very day. How could that be? Inquired Parikshit. Shuka explained this with reference to the following story. Brahma and Krishna, Skanda 10, chapter 13 to 14. When the Asura Agha was killed, Krishna went with his companions to the river bank and said, "We are hungry, the hour is late. Let us have our meals here. Let the calves drink water and graze on near lands." The Gopa boys spread out their stores and improvised plates for eating. While they were engaged in eating, the calves strayed away. The boys became anxious and were about to get up when Krishna stopped them, saying he would find the calves. He left his companions and went on the search. Brahma, who had been witnessing from the high heavens all the deeds of Krishna, even the killing of Agha, with wonder, wanted to have still one more manifestation of his divine powers. Finding opportunity, he removed the calves as well as the Gopa boys to some secure place and disappeared. Krishna could not find the calves, and on returning, he could not find his companions. He then knew it was all the act of Brahma. To please Brahma as well as to please the mothers of the Gopa boys, he himself became so many calves and so many Gopa boys of their very size and formed to the minutest detail. The mothers thought they had got their boys and they became even more attached to them. The cows thought they had got their calves, and their fondness knew no bounds. Krishna went on playing his manifold parts for 1 year. 5 or 6 days remaining till the completion of the year, Balarama saw one day that the cows were grazing on the summits of Govardhana, while the calves were grazing at some distance near Braja. The cows, impelled by a fit of attachment, breathlessly ran towards the calves, even those that had quite lately brought forth younger calves, and caressed them profusely. The elder Gopas who were in charge could not restrain them with all their efforts. They felt shame and vexation. But when they themselves approached the calves and their own sons, their anger melted away in deep affection. Balrama thought for a moment, "Never was such love witnessed by me before. This attachment for calves that had been weaned long ago. The people of Braja have even increasing affection for their own sons, even as they had of yore for Krishna. These calves no longer appear to be the incarnations of rishis. Their keepers, the Gopa boys, do not appear any longer to be the incarnations of the Devas. They look all like thee, O Krishna. Wherein lies the mystery?" Krishna explained to Rama what had happened. Brahma appeared after a truti of his own measure. He saw the boys, he saw the calves. He could not make any distinction between those he placed under his own Maya and those brought into existence by the Maya of Krishna. The foggy darkness is overpowered by the darkness of the night. The light of the glow worm vanishes before the light of the day. To delude Krishna, Brahma became deluded himself. In another moment, Brahma saw the calves and the boys, each and all bearing 4 hands, the divine weapons and all the divine powers. They shone in resplendent glory. Brahma became overpowered, stupefied. Recovering himself, he found once more Sri Krishna alone, searching for the calves and boys in Vrindavana. He fell at the feet of Krishna again and again, his 4 heads with their crowns rolling on the ground, and with tears in his eyes, he glorified Krishna. The glorification is a long one, only one sloka is given here. It is only he who lives on, anxiously looking out for thy favor, bearing through the workings of his own karma as a matter of course, and making obeisance to thee in heart, words, and body, that can get the heritage of mukti, as one must be living so that a particular heritage may vest in him, so the bhakta must keep up his individuality to get the heritage of mukti. Parikshit asked, "How could the people of Braja have greater love for Krishna than for their own sons?" Shuka replied, "Self, O king, is the most beloved of all things, not so beloved or one's sons or wealth. Therefore, O king, people love themselves better than they do their sons, their riches, or their homes. Those that deem their body to be their own Atma or self love that body more than anything else. but the body only becomes dear as it pertains to itself. It cannot be as dear as self, for when the body wears away, the desire to live on is still strong. Therefore, Atma or self is most dear to all beings, and the whole of this universe is for that self. But know thou this Krishna to be the self of all selves, the Atma of all Atmas, for the good of the universe. He also looks by Maya as one possessed of a body. Those that know Krishna know that all movable and immovable beings are but his forms and that nothing else exists. Of all things, the ultimate reality is existence. Krishna is the reality of existence itself, so there is nothing besides Krishna. Here ends the Kumara Leela of Krishna. The Pauganda Leela is now to commence. Kumara is a boy below 5. Pauganda is boyhood from 5th to 16th year. End of Kumara Leela.